So first of all, I'm going to hand over to Naj. Big round of applause.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Hi. Yes, I am an actual people, and I'm here to talk to you about a game I directed, which came out last year. It was called the Ouroboros Express. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. This is a lightning post-mortem. So first of all, who am I? I am the creator and director of the Ouroboros Express. I call myself a creative artificer and marketing alchemist online because it's quirky, but it's also just a nerdy way of saying that I do production and marketing for games. I was formerly the head of brand at Into Games. Most recently, I've just been freelancing, but I've actually had a whole career before that, working across a number of other industries, marketing, designing, production. I'm kind of a multi-headed chimera thing, I guess, in that way. So yes, what is the Ouroboros Express? So it is a romance mystery visual novel made in Ren'Py. It's 50,000 plus words, which is basically makes it a novel. It has multiple love interests with branching storylines and several endings, and it is fully voice acted with all audio made from scratch, all art made from scratch. So it was a veritable beast of a project, let me tell you. I made it with my friends at Small Lone Studio. So we are a volunteer studio made up of a global collective of game devs. So we were founded in November 2023 when somebody said, hey, we should do a game jam. And we were all like, yay. And then we were like, oh, this is so much work. Let's do it again. So we made a game called Santa's Secret. And then the Ouroboros Express was the second game we made. So today I wanted to talk about 5 takeaways from my experience from directing the Ouroboros Express, and hopefully there'll be something useful about leadership, about soft skills, about game dev and all that jazz. So let's go. First of all, set clear expectations up front and be consistent. What do I mean by that? I think it's really important to say that if you're going to say you're going to do something, do that thing. An example of this on my game was because we were totally volunteer, we were working off fumes, dreams, and not much else really. We all had to make sure that everyone was in for the same reasons. And so we had a kickoff meeting where we talked about pillars of ways of working. And these were the pillars that we talked about: transparency, self-advocacy, praise in public, critique in private, time has meaning, good processes lead to good output. All that to say is that if people weren't kind of abiding by sort of like the code of conduct and our pillars of working, we would have to have a difficult conversation. And people trusted me, they knew that I would follow through with what I said. And for the most part, they followed these terms of conduct, I guess. Secondly, where there is a will, there is a way. So what does this mean? You have to figure out what is driving the will. So we had no budget, right? And I think like in a lot of ways, making a game is more accessible than ever, as evidenced by the sheer amount of indie games out there. So for our tech stack, we use Notion as our game production hub. Obviously for whiteboarding, we use Miro, but sometimes I'd use like FigJam by Figma. Obviously we have the Google Suite here. We'd sometimes use Zoom because sometimes it was easier to record meetings that way, but most of our conversations happen through Discord. And we use Ren'Py and GitHub. All of these were basically next to free, if not free. But as you all know, game dev requires more than just tech. So I think it's really important that if you're looking to direct or lead a team, ask yourself, what is the vision for this game? What do we want to achieve with this game? What do our team want from this experience? And what is driving your team to do this work? All of these are really important questions, right? Because these are the things that enable you to encourage your team, motivate them, keep them going through this really arduous process of making a game. So, that's fun. So for us, our motivation was that to prove that we can ship a good quality game and learn new skills, and just to prove the point that we've shipped a game. So for the game jam, I led a team of 40 devs. For version 2.0, which included the fully voice acted, all new art, all new storylines, at 32 devs on it. Number 3, build up your resilience for answering questions. Oh my God, directing is answering so many questions all of the time. Sometimes people don't like your answers, and then there are more questions. So yeah, you need to have the answers for most things. Sometimes the answer is, I don't know, let's work it out together. And I think it's really important that you check your ego at the door and accept the fact that you are not the smartest person in the room. You're just kind of the hub holding the spokes of the wheel together so you can keep rolling. And I was really proud of that analogy when I wrote it. So number 4, this is kind of like a weird one, but keeping the audience in mind of this event today, marketers can actually make great directors and producers, which was like a really weird thing I learned. So I would encourage all of you, like if you are a marketer that hasn't done like game dev and game production before, like try it out. There's so many transferable skills. There's communication, there's graphic design, there's content creation, copywriting, giving clear briefs, really important. Collaboration, iteration, and learning on the job. These are all things that I've had to do throughout my marketing career, and I used all of these for directing a game and creating a game. I even designed a logo for the Ouroboros Express there. And I think like the other point that I want to make is that, you know, as a marketer, I think it is really important to try and put yourself into the shoes of a person on a game dev team at least once, so you can try and understand like what it feels like to go through a game and feel like this baby that you have and foster it and feel so much for it, and to put it out the door and put it in the hands of a marketer, because I think it really gave me such an appreciation for the indie devs that I do work with. So yeah, number 5, this is so boring, but I live for a good meeting. So good meetings and processes can make or break a production. So these are just some like really quick fire things that I would say. Really respect your team's time, stick to meeting agendas. There's a time and place for like social casual stuff, and like the 15-minute stand-up in the morning is just not it. Have a clear objective and strive to complete it in the same session. Again, I've been through so many bad meetings in my career that I actually really implemented these practices and people really appreciated them on the game. Promote the self-serve culture. You're not here to do everything for everyone. This is so important. And I think for a lot of people who are like first-time managers and first-time leaders, there is absolutely an instinct that you want to like do everything for your team, and it's not helpful. It is actually counterproductive for you and your team. So the sooner that you can promote a culture where people are helping themselves, the better. Record meetings and have comprehensive notes for asynchronous working. So for us at Small Loan, we had people in Turkey, in the US, in Australia, in Singapore. And so not everybody could make the meetings. And so I think like the sooner that you can kind of respond to the ways of working with a global team, the better. And naturally, all of these things, like little things add up over time. You know, these processes, if you future-proof them, will mean that you can finish the game on time and preserve everybody's sanity in the same time as well. Now, the point I do want to make is that sadly, game dev still feels like a privilege and not an art form or an accessible and viable career. So from my time working into games, we know that the game dev industry is like, people from low-income backgrounds are very underrepresented in the game dev industry. And the only reason I was able to direct this game and kind of like see it through was because I was working part-time, freelancing, and sharing financial responsibilities with a partner. But because I was able to do this and kind of lead this team, I was able to lead a team to have a credit for a ship game on Steam. And because of that, some of our team have been able to get opportunities directly from making this game together. But yeah, I think the point I want to make is that it's still really difficult, you know, even though the tech is available, we're talking about time and resources. So the bonus tip I would love to give you all is to find or build a community that learns together and uplifts each other. Yeah, I mean, like, there's been some mention of it today. The industry is kind of in a bad place, I guess, right now. And I think the most important thing that you can do is to find a community that really helps each other. So you can find people who give honest feedback, keep you accountable, also want to make cool stuff, and learn together. What learnings will I bring with me to future projects? I think I would scope down and then scope down further. I want to make small, interesting games. I'm actually writing a tabletop RPG now. Ask the right questions in pre-production and prototyping. What do I mean by that? So make sure that you're asking questions of what does success look like? What does good look like, right, for us? What do we want to achieve? Asking those questions from the beginning will be so key for keeping you on track. And honestly, I think every finished game is a miracle. I think so many things have to happen for a game to just be done. So props to any of you who have finished the game. And yeah, thanks for listening. My name is Najmah Salam. You can find me on my website. Feel free to add me on LinkedIn and Blue Sky. I am readily available. I was making a joke that I wanted to print a custom shirt that said extrovert, derogatory. And yeah, and be sure to follow my friends at Small Studio too. So, thank you.